Everybody, welcome in here to another edition, a Wednesday, August 5th edition here of Trending Politics Live. My name is Clayton Kearns, as you guys know from trendingpolitics.com. I'm so happy to be here with you guys once again today. We've got a lot to cover. As many of you guys know, there's a hearing going on today in Washington, D.C. against former Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, okay? Now, she is obviously she has been on at end with President Trump for years now, and now she is being grilled, and great things are happening. Great things are coming out from it. So I want to welcome everybody in here. Thank you guys so much here for joining me today. It's going to be a really good show, so buckle in. Here we go. So Sally Yates, as you guys know, this man right here, James Comey, he set up General Flynn. Not only that, but he approved a FISA warrant in order to spy on the Trump campaign, and that is what they went over today. So we're going to get into that in a big way here, okay? So the first huge breaking story from this whole thing is that Lindsey Graham grilled her, and he asked her specifically, would you have called James Comey rogue? And she said yes. Watch this.
Phone call?
This was a counterintelligence investigation of the Trump campaign's potential relationship with the Russians.
That makes no sense. On January the 4th, they recommend to drop Flynn. They mentioned the Logan Act, and you advised against prosecuting the Logan Act. Is that true?
We never made an official decision about whether we were going to do it, but I think it was unlikely, certainly unlikely, that we would pursue prosecution. That was not our primary concern. It was not a Logan Act violation. It was a counterintelligence concern.
Okay, here's what I want to understand. It's a counterintelligence investigation that led to the interview. You didn't authorize the interview. As a matter of fact, you wanted to go to the White House and tell them about the problem, didn't you?
That's right. I did. I thought that was the more immediate issue.
And when you heard about the interview, you got upset, didn't you?
I was upset that Director Comey didn't coordinate that with us and acted unilaterally. Yes, I was.
Okay. Did Comey go rogue?
You could use that term, yes.
Finally.
There we go. So, as she stated, that Comey did his own thing on his own terms. Okay, and meanwhile, the left, when President Trump fired James Comey, the left was all up in arms. It was, oh my God, what a tyrant, what a tyrant. No, James Comey was no friend to Donald Trump, and he was not even fair to Donald Trump. In fact, he went after General Flynn. And so let's play a couple other clips from here. Ted Cruz also got in on the fun. Okay, actually, Ted Cruz got in on the fun. Let's watch Ted Cruz go off.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Yates,
turn up the volume if you can't hear it, guys.
Become aware that the Obama administration was surveilling the Donald Trump campaign?
The Obama administration was not surveilling the Donald Trump campaign.
Wow, lies.
So a FISA application is not surveillance?
The FISA application was for Carter Page, who was a former member of the Trump campaign at that point.
So your testimony is that the investigation in Carter Page had nothing to do with the Donald Trump campaign?
No, I'm suggesting you asked me if we were surveilling the campaign.
You don't get it both ways. Is it the campaign or not?
Senator, I'm trying to give you what is the accurate information here. Carter Page was a former member of the Trump campaign at the time that the FISA was initiated.
And what was the reason for the FISA on Carter Page?
There were a number of reasons. First, we had gotten the information that I was trying to point out here, that the Russians had made the overture that they wanted to be able to assist the Trump campaign.
Now, hold on, you said it had nothing to do with the Trump campaign.
Oh.
I said that he was not a member of the Trump campaign at the time that we initiated the FISA.
Nope.
Ms. Yates,
wow.
In your time at the Department of Justice, are you aware of any other political opponents of President Obama that were being surveilled?
Wow.
Again, Senator, if you're talking about the court-authorized surveillance of Carter Page.
I'm asking Are you aware of any surveillance of any other political opponents, any other candidates for president in 2016? There were a whole bunch of them, including the chairman and myself. Were either of us being surveilled, yes or no?
The answer to that is no, and I also think that there was also no information that the Russians were working to aid another candidate other than Donald.
Okay, so your testimony is no other candidate in 2016 was being surveilled other than Carter Page and the Trump campaign. Is that right?
Other than Carter Page.
Okay. When did you first become aware of the investigation and the surveillance on Carter Page?
When the FISA application was presented to me in October, I knew that the NSD lawyers were working on it for some period of time prior to that with the FBI, so it would have been in the October range.
I don't mean to interrupt, but wasn't Papadopoulos also being taped?
Ms. Yates, the chairman asked a good question.
My understanding, I was not aware at the time, but my understanding is that Papadopoulos, that there was a recorded conversation between Papadopoulos and a source, not wiretap surveillance.
No, but the government orchestrated this, right?
Oh, man.
That's what I know now. Didn't know that at the time. Yes.
So we know that the
Didn't know that.
orchestrated a recording of conversations with Papadopoulos and got a warrant against Carter Page. That seems to me surveillance.
So when they came to you asking to surveil members of the Trump campaign,
oh, man,
because of conduct they allegedly did while members of the Trump campaign, what due diligence did you do? Did you press back at all? You already told Senator Kennedy you just trusted the FBI. You didn't ask about their sources. You did. I mean, what due diligence did you do before signing off on what we now have significant reason to believe was a profound politicization of law enforcement and intelligence?
Senator, there was a tremendous amount of process back and forth between the lawyers in the National Security Division and the FBI.
Okay, I asked what you did, not other lawyers. What due diligence did you do? You were the one signing off on it.
And with respect to whether the facts were accurate in this instance.
So did you inquire whether it was opposition research funded by the DNC or Hillary Clinton?
Yes, I did have a discussion about that.
With whom?
With a lawyer in my office.
Would that have been Bruce Orr?
No, Bruce Orr was not working on this.
So, but his wife was working for Fusion GPS, being paid by Hillary Clinton and the DNC.
Oh, man.
He was actively involved in this investigation. Did you know that? Did anyone inquire about that?
Oh, man.
No, had no idea of that. Learned that from the Inspector General's investigation. And Bruce Orr was not working with us on any of these FISA applications.
He's pissed.
You said earlier that nobody was trying to get President Trump. Have you read the Horowitz Inspector General report?
I have. And Inspector General Horowitz found that he did not find any evidence of bias or a political motive.
Ms. Yates,
oh
with
my
all
God.
due respect, Inspector General Horowitz found 17 material misstatements in those FISA applications, including a lawyer from the FBI who fraudulently altered a document and submitted it, and in fact took the question, was Carter Page an asset from the FBI for the CIA? The CIA said yes. He altered the document and changed it to a no. You're telling me that nobody wanted to get Trump? How about that lawyer that fraudulently altered a document to get this surveillance?
I'm telling you that Inspector General Horowitz did over 170 interviews and reviewed more than 1 million documents. And he's in a better position than I am to be able to make a conclusion about whether there was evidence of a political motive or bias.
She is.
Ms. Yates, let me just make
It's almost over, guys.
Final observation. You mentioned in your testimony the principled career men and women at the Department of Justice and the FBI, and you're right. There are tremendous principals whose integrity has been called into question by the profound politicization of the leadership of the department and of the Bureau. And to sign off on turning the FBI and the CIA into a tool of opposition research and attacking your political opponents and to go all the way to the Oval Office as you did on January 5th with President Obama and Joe Biden going after their political opponents, it's wrong, and it has done immeasurable damage to the professionals and the men and women of integrity at the Department of Justice and at the Bureau.
And now I think Senator Hirono, but I will say, I want Ms. Yates to understand, Horowitz didn't find any bias in opening up the counterintelligence investigation, but he was dumbfounded by the series of events that occurred, including manipulating evidence and all the withholding of information from the court.
Exactly. Okay, so everybody, as many of you guys said there in the comment section, she is so incredibly corrupt, beat around the bush, did not want to answer the questions, and tried to weasel her way out of it by saying, well, at the time, I didn't know any of this was going on. How do we know that she's not lying under oath right now? How do we know? How do we know that? Ted Cruz asked her very point blank, and then you see how she tried to get around it? Guys, you got to be aware of this trick that they're going to pull. Well, at the time, he was a former campaign aide. Okay, but it was still targeting the Trump campaign. And not only that, but like Ted Cruz said, that George Papadopoulos was also being surveilled as well. This was a coup. This was an operation to get President Trump. It didn't work. And then not only that, but you had the corrupt FBI director, James Comey, also going after President Trump. And as we're going to see here in the next clip here, Joe Biden meant in the notes with Peter Strzok, Joe Biden, it said VP Logan Act, suggesting that VP Joe Biden personally raised the idea to investigate Michael Flynn. Now, guys, this is one of the most infuriating political stories of the last several years. Michael Flynn was doing his job as National Security Director incoming. It was his job to speak to foreign countries, to speak to foreign ambassadors, to talk to them about how things are going to go down, what's the next step plan of action in the Trump administration. He got wiretapped and then unmasked in a wrongful way. So Lindsey Graham brings that up again here to her. I'm going to bring that up for you guys right now. He asked specifically, and again, this is under oath, everyone. So if this turns out to be false, this could be very, very bad for Sally Yates. He grills her, personally asks her, did Joe Biden mention the Logan Act to you? Because it's in Peter Strzok's notes. Watch this.
Well, I'm not sure that
does it bother you that the FISA court rebuked the Department of Justice and the FBI regarding the Carter Page warrant application?
Senator, I believe that the Department of Justice and the FBI have a duty of candor with the FISA court.
Do you believe they fulfilled that duty?
No, I do not believe that they did. I think that there were.
As a matter of fact, you signed that warrant application in October and January. Is that correct?
That's right.
Knowing then what you know now, would you sign that application?
Senator, I would never sign any document.
So I take that to be no, because that document was a fraud. Is that a fair statement? If you knew then what you know now, you wouldn't have signed it?
I wouldn't sign anything that I knew to contain errors or omissions.
Well, did that contain errors and omissions?
Yeah, and I would never knowingly sign a document. Right. I didn't do that.
No, man, this is...
I believe you didn't know. I believe you didn't know that what you signed was wrong. The question is, if you had known, you wouldn't have signed it. Is that correct?
No, if I had known that it contained incorrect information, I certainly wouldn't have signed it.
Thank you. And do you agree with me it did contain incorrect information?
I know that now based on the
That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that you lied to the court. I'm saying you signed something that was a lie and you didn't know it. Now let's talk about a January 5th meeting.
Listen up. Very important, guys.
Was the vice president there?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Did he mention the Logan Act?
You know, I don't remember the vice president saying much of anything in this meeting.
So you don't remember him mentioning the Logan Act?
No, I don't.
Did anybody mention the Logan Act?
I have a vague memory of Director Comey mentioning the Logan Act.
Okay, what was he mentioning the Logan Act about? In what context?
Well, I'm not sure if he mentioned that in the Oval Office meeting or in the meeting that
What do
he
you
and I
think
had.
about the?
Mr. Chairman, let her answer the question. Just because it's a woman testifying doesn't mean she has to be cut off.
Yeah,
by
thanks
every
a
answer.
lot, Senator Lee. I really appreciate that. You're very
Wow.
instructive. So here's my question. Was the
The
Logan
Democrat-
Act mentioned in the meeting?
I recall Director Comey mentioning it at some point. What I'm not sure about, Senator Graham, and I want to be
That's fair.
absolutely certain.
That's fair. You don't know if it's mentioned in the meeting or not. Do you believe
No,
the
no, I do recall Director Comey mentioning it at some point. I'm not sure.
Right.
It was in
No,
the
I got you.
meeting
I got you.
Or in the discussion he and I had.
No, I got you.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Here's the question. Did General Kislak's behavior amount to a violation of the Logan Act, in your opinion?
It certainly could have been a technical violation, but that was not the focus of the FBI or us. That we were really focused on a counterintelligence investigation.
Well, do you realize on January the 4th, the FBI recommended to drop General Flynn from Crossfire Hurricane?
I understand. Well, I know that now. I didn't know that at
So
the time.
It's always-
Here's my point.
Oh, man.
On January the 4th, the FBI said there's no reason to keep looking at General Flynn. On January the 5th, you have a meeting with the FBI director where you believe he mentions the Logan Act in regard to General Flynn. Is that correct?
What I understand, Senator Graham, is that, and I didn't know at the time because I wasn't privy to the FBI's internal documentation of the counterintelligence investigation.
Did you even know what was going on?
Not specifically with respect to General Flynn, no. I
So
knew
you
that there
did
was a-
not know the FBI had a counterintelligence investigation of General Flynn?
No, I did not until.
So
Lies.
here's my question. The January 24th interview by General Flynn by 2 FBI agents, did you authorize that interview?
No, I did not.
Did you
But that
counsel the
doesn't mean that I don't believe that there was a legitimate basis for that.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I didn't authorize that interview because I wasn't told about it in advance. But that's not the same thing as saying that I don't believe that there was a legitimate basis for it.
Oh, God. All right. So what she just basically said there at the end is that there was a legitimate basis to have the interview, have the FBI grill General Flynn over doing his duties as incoming National Security Director. Like, you guys, this is corruption on a level that we have never seen before. And the Obama administration, quite frankly, now, maybe at the end of the day, they might not get away with it. I mean, they might not get away with it. But you can guarantee that if Joe Biden, now I don't think he's going to win, but if he were to win, all talks about this, guys, is going to cease. This is another reason why the Democrats want this election so bad, is because they know that President Trump is going to push these things along. And you guys, this is very, very concerning. And did you just see how Mr. Leahy, the senator, said, Senator Graham, just because she's a woman doesn't mean you can keep talking over her. Really? He just threw that jab out there. No, Senator Graham was trying to clarify what she was saying. Why? Because she was beating around the bush, because she wasn't answering the questions. Every question she answered was, oh, well, I didn't know at the time. So she's claiming ignorance in order to clear her name. And it is absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. So guys, please let me know in the comments below, because there's a few developments that are going to come from this. The General Flynn case and more information about surveillance against the Trump campaign. So comment below. Let me know what you guys keep thinking about this. And we're going to move on here to our next topic. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Joe Biden. All right. Joe Biden, the Democrat candidate for presidency of the United States. He tried something this morning. He tried speaking again. And let's just say it didn't go over too well. Let's just say that this whole talking and saying words thing and speaking English, it didn't really work out for Joe again. So do you guys remember a few weeks ago how Joe Biden was asked if he had received cognitive tests? And he's like, yeah, I get tested all the time. Well, not only now is he saying that he hasn't taken a test, but he went off on this host for even asking about it. This guy had a meltdown on live TV. Check this out.
Have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There's going to be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental physical as well as my mental fitness.
Did you hear that? As he's talking about mental fitness, he can't even say the words mental fitness without slurring and without stumbling. So Joe Biden just told everyone a couple weeks ago that, yeah, I get tested for cognitive tests. Don't worry about it. Because we all see the videos every single week of him slurring his words, not knowing what to say. Now, Joe Biden, so let's play a clip, a brand new ad by the Trump campaign showing Biden's comments. He just told people that he was getting tested, and now he's saying, why would I do that? It's like testing me for smoking cocaine, for smoking crack. Okay, watch this.
Tested for some degree of cognitive decline.
I've been tested and I'm constantly tested.
Please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. Take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?
Are you a junkie? He says. Okay, well, what I will say to you guys is that the man was onto something. He said, have you taken a cognitive test? And here is the reason why, is because just a couple minutes later, Joe Biden tried to speak English again, and it didn't go well with him. About 4 or 5 seconds into this, watch him very clearly slur his words. I don't even know what he's saying, everybody. Please help me out.
The way China will respond is when we gather the rest of the world that in fact believes in open trade and making sure that we're in a position that the world that we deal with WHO the right way. That in fact that's when things begin to change. That's when China's behavior is going to change.
I'm not going to play the whole clip again, but let's hear that one more time. Let's hear the slurred words one more time. And somebody try to tell me that Joe Biden is all there.
The way China will respond is when we gather the rest of the world that in fact believes in open trade and making sure that we're in a position that the world.
Guys, okay. So the left. What the left likes to do in this situation, so what they're going to do with this clip right here is they're going to start playing a clip of President Trump accidentally misspeaking. Guys, we all do it. I do it here on this live show. I might say something like a phone or I might mispronounce a word. It happens to the best of us. That is not what is happening to Joe Biden, okay? His words cannot connect to his brain. He doesn't know what he's saying, and the left is trying to say, oh, well, Trump's doing it too. No, it does not happen with the frequency that President Trump does. And by the way, President Trump is going out there every single day. He's flying to places. He's meeting with people. He's talking to people. Joe Biden has not left his basement, according to reports, since July 28th. It's been over a week, and he hasn't left his house. Furthermore, breaking news story today is that Joe Biden will not travel to Milwaukee to go and attend the Democrat National Convention. So this man, he can't even travel to accept the nomination, but they think that he's capable of being the president of the United States. Do you know what you need to do? Do you know how much in public, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, President Trump is out there and he's being safe and he's working with people and he's having conversations and he's having meetings with people. Biden is there isolated in his basement while his campaign tries to do the dirty work for him. It is absolutely insane. So guys, let me know what you guys think about Biden's mental capacity. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to put in the comments below how all there you think Biden is. 10 being he's all there mentally, 1 being he's not there mentally, okay? So I want to see your guys' response in the comments below. Is Biden there? Yes or no? Rate him on a 1 to 10 scale, and I will be reading those comments here in just a second. So the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that the Democrats and the left are going to have to make a decision, because Dr. Fauci just said something this morning, and it's going to throw the left into a hissy fit, okay? You guys have to remember something, is that the left is always trying to have it both ways with Dr. Fauci, and both ways in general. First, they say President Trump doesn't listen to the experts. Then they say, well, President Trump is an idiot, and we shouldn't take any advice from him at all. Okay, here's my thing, is that President Trump took the recommendations given to him by his medical experts, one including Dr. Fauci, the other including Dr. Birx. On February 18th, Dr. Fauci was saying, hey, there's no risk to the American people. February 29th, when speaking about the coronavirus, Dr. Fauci said there's nothing you need to do to change in your lifestyle currently. On March 9th, Dr. Fauci said if you want to go on a cruise, you can go on a cruise. So the leading expert in infectious diseases was saying on March 9th that it's okay for people to go on cruises. And about a week later, we shut the country down. So tell me how much foresight and expertise this man has. Well, on that note, okay, the left still somehow has found Trump to blame, although all Trump did was follow the advice of the medical professionals. That's all he did, because the left says Trump's an idiot. He doesn't know anything. Well, then you should have been glad to know that he followed the advice of the medical experts, and look where it got us. It didn't help us. Cases still skyrocketed, so it didn't matter. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter though, because the left, they're giving Dr. Fauci awards, they're giving him praise and adulation, giving him all these things in the world, right? Throwing out the baseball, the first pitch, right? He's just a celebrity doctor now. Why? Because a couple of times he says things that could have been construed as negative against President Trump. Well, now that is going to come back to bite the Democrats in a big way. Why? Because they are using the coronavirus to push mail-in voting. They do not want people to go into the mailbox because they know that that's not a winning formula. But they know that with mail-in votes, they can manipulate the vote and to what they want to happen. Well, their beloved Dr. Fauci, their Lord and Savior, Dr. Fauci of the left, has now come out and said, well, hey, if you can go to a grocery store with a mask on and socially distance, why can't you vote? All right, here we go. We're going to play the clip, guys. Here we go.
When you go into a store, whatever that store is, you know, a CVS, drugstore or a Starbucks or what have you, they have people staying 6 feet apart with masks. I think if you stay 6 feet apart with masks, you can do whatever it is that you need to do, whether you're going to CVS, whether you're going to Starbucks, or whether you're voting. I don't see any reason not to do that.
All right. So the left's main man, Dr. Fauci, their beloved man, the man that they listen to 24/7, the man that they said, oh man, President Trump is such a mean person for at times opposing Dr. Fauci. Oh man. Well, wait a minute. Their boy just said it. If you can go to a grocery store, if you can go anywhere with a mask on and socially distanced, then there's no reason why you can't go into the voting booth. There's no reason. You see but I hope that the left plays now. CNN is probably not going to cover this. MSNBC and New York Times, all these people are probably not going to cover this, which is why it's on us to make sure that this clip gets out there and gets seen by everyone. Because It's going to stump any Democrat you show. I guarantee it. I guarantee that it's going to stump anyone you show, because they're going to see that and go, wait a minute. Their brains won't be able to comprehend what they just saw. They'll be like, wait a minute. Dr. Fauci, he's like my favorite man in the world. Now he's saying that we can vote in person. Oh my God. Oh my God. And you know what? I'm going to be honest here. Got to give kudos to Dr. Fauci on this one. He actually said something that makes common sense. The left says protesters and Black Lives Matter and Antifa can go out there and protest by the tens of thousands because they're wearing masks. They're wearing masks. Well, if they can protest shoulder to shoulder wearing masks, why can't we go to the voting booth, stand 6 feet apart, and wear a mask? I guarantee you it's much safer if you're in a line of 100 people waiting to vote and you're 5 to 6 feet apart from each other and you're wearing a mask, as opposed to thousands of people marching, protesting side by side, shouting things, shouting Black Lives Matter and all the different chants that they always say. I'm very, very interested to see how the left will react to that clip of Dr. Fauci. He straight up said that if you can go to a grocery store, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to vote. So, you guys, this is the one common sense thing that Dr. Fauci has said over the last week I showed you guys the video of Jim Jordan grilling him and saying, do protests cause the spread of the coronavirus? And he weaseled his way out of that one. But now maybe he slipped. Maybe he didn't mean to say what he just said, but either way, he said it, and it will be very interesting when you show a liberal, when you show a Democrat that video of Dr. Fauci saying that. Be very interesting to see how they respond. So let me know what you guys think about there below. So, you guys, that's everything for today's show, everybody. I do want to tell you guys to make sure that you're going to trendingpolitics.com. We're always posting new information there. And then also make sure to go to ilovemyfreedom.com. As you guys know, in some states out there, I live in California. I can't go into a grocery store. I can't go into a restaurant. I can't go anywhere in public, basically, without a mask. I can't go into any establishment. When I did my taxes, I had to wear a mask. When I go into the bank, I have to wear a mask. And so sadly, even though it's inconvenient and the left has worshipped masks to a degree, even though I don't think that they are the saving grace that everyone says they are, some places you're actually required to go in. So we have some patriotic masks over there at ilovemyfreedom.com. Scroll down a little bit and you'll see all of our different masks. We got a mask that says defund the media, Trump 2020, defend the police. We got a lot of things that will trigger anyone in the grocery store. We also got great shirts. We have our entire warehouse out there in Kansas of American citizens shipping this stuff to everyone all across the country. And yes, so everyone, once again, you guys go to trendingpolitics.com for all the latest news. And everybody, you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. I think this was the most viewers we had across all of our different platforms at once. We were holding over 2,000 live between Periscope, Facebook, and Twitter the entire time, you guys. So I want to keep building this audience with you guys. I want to keep having this daily conversation with you because it's really fun for me, and I just love bringing you guys this information. So everybody in the chat, I want to thank you guys all. You guys all have a great rest of your day, okay? I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern.